where they would sort out all this difference in the opinion, and they would be discussing in front of Prabhupada and asking him the answer. So one such Prabhupada is always concerned about wherever he went, he never stayed in the deviant group. There was always Prabhupada established own ISKCON. Wherever he is established, that's the center he would stay. But the other groups would come and they would have argue, debate, and Prabhupada request them to join back. A lot of things. So that's what we're going to see. The first Prabhupada, as soon as he's arrived, this controversy of philosophical things came before him. So, and Prabhupada clearly explained. So one morning walk, so the devotee started asking this question, and Prabhupada explained what is pure devotion service and what is to be within ISKCON. So then the devotee started this concept. Prabhupada, there are some groups, they chant Hare Krishna, they say just chanting Hare Krishna is sufficient to go back to God. And you can keep your independence still. You don't need to surrender to anyone. You just chant, you'll go back. That is the philosophy. Then Prabhupada said, so what is your thought on that? Well, the devotees staying in ISKCON, they said, Prabhupada, this looks like hypocritical, because we chant Hare Krishna Mantra to be engaged in the seva of the lordships and guru, and we follow Mangalarti, try to follow four-legged principle, your instruction. Then that means surrender. Otherwise, it is not surrender. Whimsically, you chant some Hare Krishna Mantra whenever you want. So Prabhupada said, are they not following any regulative principle attending Mangalarti? Then they said, no, they don't even follow four regulative principle. They just chant. They think that by chanting, you can go back to spiritual world. That's enough. So Prabhupada was very intelligent, because the holy name is so powerful and deliver any person who sincerely chants. Prabhupada knew about it. So Prabhupada said, okay, whether they're chanting without offenses or not. So there are 10 offenses, are they committing those offenses? That's what Prabhupada asked. Because they said that, they don't follow any regulative principle by thinking, by chanting, they can overcome all the regulations. So then Prabhupada pointed out, this is the, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name is the seventh offenses, is not. So Prabhupada is telling they are chanting with offenses. And Prabhupada quotes this, Namno balyatyasyahi papa buddhihi. I can go on committing sinful activity, but chanting Hare Krishna mantra, it will be adjusted. That is the great offense. So Prabhupada said you should explain them. So I'm okay people chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but they should do it without offenses. Then there is a chance. In fact, Prabhupada says it may be, it's not waste of time, but at least it's a slow progress. And Prabhupada gives example of you're kindling the fire to go up. At the same time, you're pouring water on the other side. So the process is going to be very, very, very slow. He never rejected that concept of chanting. So then Prabhupada said, people living in the ashram, in the temple, it's easy to follow four regulative principles and inspire each other. So he said, Prabhupada, then it's easy to follow the principles. Otherwise, if you stay outside, it's very difficult. Then some devotees said, Prabhupada, it's not all the devotees are breaking. Outside people, some people are living still, they're following four regulative principle. But Prabhupada said, that's not matter. You live inside or outside, but you should follow the regulations. And they said it's very easy to follow when you are in the association of the devotees. Then Prabhupada talks about that. So this is a wonderful passage. I'll read out. Prabhupada wonderfully comments this. Therefore, it is recommended that you live with the devotees. But if you cannot agree with the devotees, you have got your own opinion, then you still can't make a new opinion as far as following the process is concerned. It is not a good idea to say, whatever I do, that's my independence and I will chant. Prabhupada admitted that even if one is living in the temple, but his mind is not absorbed in Krishna conscious, then he also could not advance quickly. Prabhupada said, not only you might live in the temple, it's not guaranteed that you'll go back to Godhead unless, you're also absorbed in Krishna conscious. So people can live in a temple and still not be Krishna conscious, and people outside can still live, they can be Krishna consciousness. But he never compromised on the following four regulative principle and things like that. And also Prabhupada gave a wonderful example of stock market. See, Prabhupada's knowledge is, extraordinary. and he knew everything, happening. And I don't know how conscious can be explained with the stock exchange. So Prabhupada says that, the association of devotees living in the temple, he compares to the stock exchange. He said there is a buyer and seller to buy, stocks. So if you are in the market, it's easy to sell. Let's say you're staying outside 300 kilometers away from exchange and you want to find a buyer and seller you want to sell, it is very difficult. So Prabhupada gives this analogy, for the modern, the young American youth to understand. Prabhupada is very, 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 very practical. And the examples he quotes, it's just directly, gets into their understanding. So you can do business nicely. That's why the ISKCON is like a stock exchange where you want to practice devotion service. So there are some people come, you like-minded people, then you can do it. But if you want to live outside, that's also fine. But I'll take 700 lifetimes. Prabhupada exaggerate saying, I might go 700 lifetimes. That may be a different thing. It's risky to stay outside. So Prabhupada was explaining with this concept of stock exchange. And Prabhupada's amazing, another amazing uh, so another amazing philosophy or the is that utility is the principle. Prabhupada was telling, okay, before that, let me complete this episode where the discussion happening for the deviant group and Srila Prabhupada putting that people should stay in temple and follow four regulative principle, or outside the temple, but still they have to follow four regulative principle. So, and Prabhupada quotes from Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Instruction, verse 3rd, Utsaha Dhairyatnischyat. In that it says that Sato Vrite Sadhu Sangat Bhakti Prasidhyati. So the six the six principles of doing bhakti. Prabhupada is explaining this is important how one should follow the sadhu sangha. Prabhupada quotes from Nectar of Instruction to the devotees, and you should follow this. And this is a very important instruction Prabhupada gives. I'll just read it because most of them are very interesting. So Prabhupada said, um, he also did not live within temple, but still always strictly followed his spiritual master order. Prabhupada is telling his own example. Wherever you live, Prabhupada said, if you follow strictly the instruction of the Guru, then you remain perfect. But if we create concocted ideas against the instruction of the Guru, then we go to hell. Yasya prasadat Bhagavat prasado, Yasya prasadat nagadikutopi. There is no more shelter, finished. It is the Guru. If the Guru thinks this person, I wanted to take him back to Godhead, but now he is going against me, he is not following, then when he is displeased, everything is finished. Prabhupada says that the importance of surrendering to pleasing the Guru. So, Guru is the one who gives Krishna, but if he is displeased, everything is finished. There is no hope for going back to Godhead. So, one should follow the Guru's instruction seriously. And this episode, Prabhupada more emphasis on following the Guru's instruction. Uh, so one devotee got an, he was emphasizing that people should follow Guru's instruction. One of the devotee, this is applicable very much for me, like a Grahastha devotees. He said, Prabhupada, I am staying outside. I am doing my job. I am living outside, but I'm not giving 50% of my income. So then that job I'm doing is actually under the authority of the Guru or not? So he's asking direct questions. I am a Grahastha, I'm staying outside, I'm working, but I'm not contributing to ISKCON 50%. Will this is a bona fide authorized by Guru or not? Prabhupada reply, please listen carefully. Then you are not following the instruction of the Guru. That is plain fact. So the devotee got bewildered and he asked further questions. So that means that the whole activity during the day, working, that means that I am not following the instruction of the Guru. It is an authorized activity. Prabhupada said, yes, if you don't follow the instruction of the Guru, then you have fallen down immediately. So at least whatever capacity, we should try to contribute so that our working of purification, whatever the money we earn, that is purified. And I don't know, here Prabhupada says 50%. Another confrontation took place where this the actual Deviant group was sitting and the GB is sitting one side. So they said, "We agree, you Prabhupada. We'll love you. We will follow your instruction, but we can't be under the GPC, and we don't want to be under the banner of ISKCON." This is the thing. And there somebody is also put the theory that the another deviant philosophy is that this is Guru Tattva. It's very difficult to understand. The Guru Tattva is that they're telling he may be spiritually knowledgeable, he's capable, but materially he doesn't know. They gave the example. Srila Prabhupada was all knowing expert spiritually, but not materially. Prabhupada cannot build a jet engine or he cannot build a nuclear reactor. So devotees are giving an example. He cannot be materially, known everything. Therefore, he is not expert in materially, but it's expert in spiritually. This is one concept. The other group have said, no, 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 doesn't matter. The Guru is pure Vaishnava and they all depend on the Krishna for their work on the independently. So what is this mean is one group is telling that, let's say Prabhupada wants to know what is happening in 108 temples. Prabhupada needs to depend on this GPC member to relay him what is happening. It's not that he can, close his eyes and envision what is happening all over the places. So that's why they're telling materially he is not capable. He needs to depend on his uh, devotees or GPC members to report on the progress, mistreating is anything happening, misconducting of book distribution. If anything like that, Prabhupada may not know. And he is a spiritual person, he would know from the spiritual perspective. So this is another concocted idea. First one is that chant only Hare Krishna and commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name, not following for regulative principle, other things. Prabhupada was heavy on that. The second philosophy is that Guru may not know materially, he will only know spiritually. So this is another deviant philosophy uh, going on. So then the other group was a deviant group was sitting in front of Prabhupada and GBC. So they were asking, so then Prabhupada was repeatedly telling them, why did you leave? Why don't you stay back? Why don't you come back? Why don't you surrender? This was the Prabhupada. Even though they were arguing each of them, but Prabhupada was requesting the other group, please come back. Why don't you surrender? Why don't you stay here? What is the problem? And they said, Prabhupada, we love you, but we don't want to work with GPC. So then the GPC started asking question. So you say you accept Prabhupada? They said yes. So you will do whatever he says and whatever he instructs, you will be able to follow? They said yes. So then they said, you have complete faith in him? They said yes. Then Prabhupada is instructing now to follow the GPC. What is the problem in doing that? Then they said, no, no, no. That we can't do. We can do others. We love Prabhupada. We accept him, faith on him, but we can't work with GPC. Then they said, Prabhupada got really angry and he put his fist on the table and he said, see, this is a hypocrisy. I'm telling work with GBC, and you're telling no, 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 I love you, Prabhupada. We will follow your instruction, but we will not work surrender to the GBC. This means that they don't have faith in me. This means that Guru Aprada. To say that have faith in my just in me is hypocrisy. So Prabhupada strongly says that you want to surrender, but not to ISKCON. So Prabhupada was heavy on them. So this is the episode where they stop here, of course. So before moving on to the Los Angeles episode, there's one more important message which Sukriti gets. And Sukriti was traveling and supporting Prabhupada and things like that. So he came to Hawaii and where his family, wife, children are there. So Prabhupada said, Suchakirti, so now you are going to stay here, your wife is here and children? And Sutakirti Prabhu said, yes, Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, yes, you can stay here as a householder and manage the temple. But all along, Sutakirti Prabhu was thinking, oh, Prabhupada doesn't have a sacred servant. So if I stay here, who will serve him? But again, Prabhupada takes this topic. So that's good. Yes, you stay here with your wife and you can manage this temple. Then immediately there is a sannyasi in the temple. Okay. So the Prabhupada was talking about, there was one more sannyasi. So he said, do you know Shrutakirti? Living with the family. Sorry, it is a little graphical, but we need to take it with a little pinch of salt. But one of the sannyasis in the room started laughing and said, you know what they call wife and children? They are known as tigress and jackal. And the sannyasi started laughing, and then they asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I know the woman called as tigress, but I don't know why children are considered as jackals. And there's a very wonderful reply from Srila Prabhupada. I read it as it is. Prabhupada replied, well, the children, in so many ways, they create so many inconvenience for the father. They are always requiring things and sometimes disturbing him. And he can't sleep. In this way, it is like eating the flesh of the father. This is business of jackals, eating flesh. So the children are like jackals. They are always putting the father in so much disturbance and difficulty. So I was sitting here thinking, so then Shrutakirti Prabhu was mentioning, oh my God, Prabhupada is telling to serve, and but I'm thinking here to, stay with my family. Then he changed his mind, and Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, I think I should come with you. Then Prabhupada said, all right. Immediately Prabhupada approved. He knew he wanted to have Shrutakirti, and but he also considered he want to stay with his family and children. So Prabhupada was not discouraging them. At the same time, he was telling the message what is important. So with this, we come to a end of the episode of deviant philosophies. There are a lot of takeaways. One is that we live or outside or inside, we just need to follow Guru. Without Guru's order, the spiritual life is finished. That's a key message Prabhupada conveyed. And of course, there is no concoction on the basic process what Prabhupada had given. That needs to also some of the Grahastha life. He just mentioned how to purify our existence by giving some donation to the temple to ISKCON, and as well as serving the Guru. So this second episode where we're going to see is the last essential episode. Prabhupada stayed 2 days only here, but there are a lot of conversation inputs on books. So it's going to be books, 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 books for another 15 minutes or so. We will see this pastime. And also Prabhupada at the end of it, he narrates a wonderful funny story. Uh, explaining that. So, so Prabhupada was like, this is recalled by Hridayananda Goswami Maharaj. And Prabhupada would always smell like a sandalwood, very fragrant Prabhupada. And he would be always wearing clean and neat cloth, always wearing aromatic flowers. So as soon as he comes into the car or van, fresh tilaka will be there, and the entire place, the car, will becomes very transcendental, and it will be all sanctified, and they feel bliss when Prabhupada was wherever he is. And most of the time Prabhupada would look into the window of Los Angeles neighborhood, and he would chant this mantra, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kevalam. So Prabhupada would recite this with great feeling as a mother seeing a child. There's so many orphanage people there in the disease condition. Prabhupada always Paradukuduki. How do I deliver this entire Los Angeles? So with great intensity, Prabhupada would recite this and pray to Krishna that somehow make all of them Krishna consciousness. So it's all the Acharyas, previous Acharyas' prayers, benediction, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti, Vinod Thakur. So many Acharyas have prayed for us. So we are able to be in Krishna conscious. That's because of their prayers. Krishna, they obviously would hear the pure Vaishnava's prayers. If they are not compassionate, they want to be a ghost, they want to be, chanting their own bhajana. They are not bhajananandi. So they are paradukuduki. So Prabhupada has broken the principle of going abroad. Sannyasis should not supposed to cross the ocean, and he did that because he know what is the use. His Guru told him to do so, so he did it. So they all know how compassionate, So now Hridayananda Goswami Maharaj is remembering that, and actually the ISKCON, Los Angeles, New Dwarka, this is like Western headquarters. Like Mayapur is the international headquarters. Similarly, for the Western world, this Los Angeles Dwarkadish is the headquarters. That's because the level of project work they do, the level of preaching they do, the level of book distribution happens, the level of BBT good on and other things managed, book is printed from out here, and the standard of DT worship. Prabhupada always said this Rukmani Dwarka, this is the highest standard of DT worship, and everybody should follow. So he had a very high standard of worship with them, and also they were doing this diormas to preach outside. You see a lot of things happening in Los Angeles, and so in this episode, Prabhupada would go and visit the warehouse, which is recently been done. So Prabhupada is first time visiting this BBT Gudon. So all this conversation about the books and everything will happen. So let's go into the Los Angeles Ni Dwaraka ISKCON, the BBT Gudon. So there were two BBT Gudons. Prabhupada went in car. There are so many cars also followed. There are a lot of people who went. And Prabhupada, as soon as went into the reception, he saw beautiful frame color productions of Back to God magazines. They're all hung. And also there is one of the painting Prabhupada saw. There was Sachi Devi, Sachi Thakurani. She's the wife of Advaita Acharya. She went to bless the Nimai. So that was depicted, and Prabhupada said, "Who painted this?" And he said, "She is a good, talented um, disciple." So Prabhupada was encouraging all of them, looking at them. And so he started taking a tour. Rameshwar Prabhu has taken their tour of the warehouse. And he said, "Prabhupada, we have two warehouses." And Prabhupada saw the ceiling was so high that it, 3-story building can be accommodated into that room. So such a tall, very tall ceiling roofs with that storage was there, and lot of books were stacked. Uh, I looked at Rameshwara. Is just you are simply stacking, or you are also distributing? And Rameshwara Prabhu said, "Prabhupada, this is just half of the stock. When we first printed, it was up to the ceiling. Now at least it's off, and we need to order again to refill it." And Prabhupada was very happy, and he was just looking at it. And he turned to Amsatuda, because I was talking about previous episode how Germany was into really difficulty, and he called Amsatuda to come and discuss with him the issues, what's happening in Germany. Then see, Prabhupada always depend on holy name or Srimad Bhagavatam. Any issues happens, he would say, produce Bhagavatam and give it to the judges or whoever it is. So similarly, he turned to Amsatuda. He said, "You should make Gudon like this." And he agreed. "Then you can defeat the charges," said Srila Prabhupada. "When the German nation will accept these books, then what will be the proper reply to the charges?" Then he said, "People will accept it. Everyone, genuine person will accept these books. That's how you can defeat the case." So he was telling you have to push Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita distribution heavily in German. So that was the solution, Prabhupada. Any material problem, only spiritual solution Prabhupada gave. Prabhupada never gave a material solution. And also Prabhupada was overseeing this Gudon, how the forklift was there, which is lifting the pallets high up and putting it into the ceiling and racking and all. And Prabhupada ordered immediately, "Show me the demo, how you organize the books like that." And Prabhupada was, you remember, see this I saw when I landed in Boston in the pier, Commonwealth Pier, and this forklift was being used. And the boy who was handling was little nervous, trying to show how to operate properly. And also Rameshwar Prabhu mentioned that there is a special racks dedicated for library for the colleges. So there is a 500 copies kept only for that college preaching, where all the libraries will be filled with, universities and libraries filled with this, will this book. And also he said this is about 1800 per month is the rent we are paying for this area. And then Prabhupada entered to the second warehouse, where they kept some Back to God magazine. And also Prabhupada inquired, what is the fire and safety system? Have they taken insurance for the fire? And also Prabhupada saw huge volumes of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. We just arrived. So this is very, very, very important instruction. See why ISKCON thrives, or why ISKCON able to accommodate so many people. So Prabhupada explains this here. So the day before, he has seen a drama. The people were performing some drama. So Prabhupada was immediately connected to that. And Prabhupada said that, we have Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have Bhagavatam. So you should make more theoretical theater possibilities of this dramatization of various stories and pastime. And now you can come to the Mayapur upcoming festival. You can create a track. So Prabhupada was thinking going, theaters and performing it the same stories of Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. They were nicely doing it. They can just track, they can record the track and they can various languages and they can perform this. Then Prabhupada said very interesting thing. Um, all talents, whatever talents anybody has, somebody is good at painting, somebody is good at speaking, somebody is good at acting, somebody is good at kirtan, cooking, whatever it is. He says this all acquired from the austerity, and one should use this because one is performed the previous life some austerity. Then only they will be able to get this talents. Then it means that Krishna is gifted and should be used for glorifying Krishna. Krishna is Uttama Shloka. Prabhupada said. Um, so we should depict this pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can overflow the entire world. And this specific instruction I want to read as it is from Prabhupada Lilamrtha. Prabhupada says this art, music, everything we can utilize. If anyone is addicted, let him eat only. So Prabhupada says somebody is addicted to eat, let him eat. Somebody is addicted to sing, let him sing. If somebody is addicted to paint, let him paint. Somebody is addicted to dance, let him dance. We have got everything. That is Krishna conscious. Let him do business only. Yes, engineering, construct temple. But it's all perfect movement. That is Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. Everyone can become attracted and give up everything. He'll be attracted by Krishna in such a way that he will give up all nonsense. Prabhupada is telling ISKCON is for everyone. So whatever capabilities you have, you just perform that. If you just love to eat food, just eat food. There is no problem. This is Annabhilashata Shunyam. Prabhupada is defining what is Krishna consciousness. So everybody can be engaged. Prabhupada, he engaged everyone. You name it, anybody. Somebody is a musician. Prabhupada engaged the Beatles. Somebody is good at drawing. Prabhupada engaged. Somebody is good at managing, and you can see at the end of it, Prabhupada would really appreciate this is American management, because Pakka American means they would plan it out very nicely and organize things very well. So Prabhupada was seeing that how they were organized in the Gudon itself, and they would play Srila Prabhupada tape, and we will see the further episodes of how the cassettes also being produced, what are Prabhupada lectures and things like that systematically, and it is all indexed. I mean, if you want to, now we take Srila Prabhupada, okay, Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, what is a sloka is given, the class is organized. It's not just dump of a file where you can go and search what topic. So by topic wise, the class wise, Bhagavatam wise, Bhagavad Gita wise, it was divided and segregated, it was organized. These are the things this previous Prabhupada disciple who have dedicated, and they have done it for us easily. We just need to take the mobile, particular sloka you put, and automatically you get Srila Prabhupada lecture. So this all been done by them, indexed and everything. Such a wonderful management. So Prabhupada was feeling very happy about their attraction, and it is Krishna conscious that as soon as you come, whatever you are attracted, you can be engaged. So slowly they'll come, they take prasad. After some time, why don't you, we'll say change it to tilak and dhoti. Then after some time, we'll say, why don't you take, leave of coffee and tea and come back to, take initiation. So like that, we've seen that anybody's Krishna is all attractive. His form, name, nama, rupa, guna, leela. Sweet name, holy name. You chant, then you get so much ruchi in nam. If you see his guna, characters, how he behaved with the devotees, Arjuna, how he became ready to become chariot, how he ready to, help the devotees. His character is amazing. Rupa, you don't need to tell. Such a beautiful Krishna altar we see in all over the world is called Leela. So he's amazing pastime. So who will not be attracted? So Prabhupada says that Krishna is all attractive. Slowly when Krishna is, we come and utilize engage our senses automatically wherever we are, got the siddhi or we whatever benediction or whatever austerity we have done, and we have some skills, then we should utilize in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada was explaining this all conversation happening in the Gudon. And so then Prabhupada was pointing out that so sometime Prabhupada was looking at the books, opening and seeing, sometime he would touch with his cane and check what is there in the like that. So he was, Rameshwar Prabhu was explaining, Prabhupada, it was stocked up to the ceiling. Now it is off because we have distributed just in the Christmas month, and we are getting new print. So Prabhupada was really happy. Then this wonderful message, um, this wonderful message came. So Prabhupada was laughing, and then he said, "Now this is only the English language. In every language, you should have such a big godam." Turning to Hridayananda Maharaj, he said, "You take Spanish." And turning to Amsatuda said, "You are in German. Let them overflood no other literature." Prabhupada said, "Go all the languages, flood them with the every house. Bhagavatam. Hargar Bhagavatam. Every house should have Bhagavatam. Like how many people have Bhagavad Gita, the next level is that everybody should have Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita." Prabhupada was telling every house should be flooded with this literature. They should not say, "We don't want any other literature. It's such a wonderful literature, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. People should read it. And they should, they say no to other literatures." So Prabhupada was very proud that this is the only spiritual organization prints so much book, keeps such a big godown. There is no other religious institute which is doing it. And Prabhupada said, "See, if you take it to the communist country, they will not accept it. So we should bring some communists, bring some communist countrymen, show them that you are trying to avoid God, but see how we are preaching the God's message." So Prabhupada was so proud of this. And also there was an example given, one Christian magazine which was initially printed with color magazine. Now it has been reduced to plain paper edition because the subscription has gone down. And Prabhupada was telling that how ISKCON is doing wonderful job. And the disciples were telling there are almost 125 standing orders of Srimad Bhagavatam. People are waiting for the Bhagavatam as well as under Chaitanya Charitamrita. So as soon as they get the order, they print, get the books and supply them. So people were literally on the queue to get the orders. So, so this is coming to that next item after the books, the tapes, what Prabhupada given lectures and the conversation and all. So what they do is that also being sold. So they have a machine, high-speed equipment, which within 4 minutes it can copy a tape, 3 tapes it can copy. So then they said how they have indexed the system, entire system based on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Anybody can choose particular lecture and they can hear the particular shloka. Prabhupada was impressed. Very nice. So an average less than a minute, a copy of a tape is produced, and there are already orders. So they would sell books as well as audio tapes of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was really pleased and he said, "American organization. This is American organization. Everybody should follow this." So after that, what is happening was there is a servant called Swarup Das in America. There are so many people write to BBT about asking about the books, asking about various questions, how to become life memberships, and you would write to the mail, follow up them. So Prabhupada said it's very nice. I also used to become when I was a Bose, Dr. Bose as a manager in pharmaceutical. Any new client comes, I will not stop the communicating till he becomes a customer. Prabhupada would continuously write to him letters, encouraging them to take their medicines. Like that, you are doing good job. So any correspondent comes, connect them. Don't leave the contact till they become devotees. Like that, Prabhupada was giving an example. And also after this visit, Prabhupada was coming out of the Godam. Then Rameshwar Prabhu showcased that, "Prabhupada, your name is printed on the outside the building." Prabhupada was really happy. And he said, "People will be inquisitive. What is this book all about?" And Prabhupada approved his name outside the building. So then Prabhupada started explaining wonderful about the America. So I read it. Prabhupada said, "I have said that there is no happiness in this material world, and that is a fact. But if there is a little happiness, that is in America." Prabhupada says, "So that you favored by Krishna, utilize this favor for Krishna in glorifying, then you will be successful." Prabhupada quotes that Uttama Shloka. To become extraordinary in any branch of facilities requires austerities. Prabhupada mentioned that you have any extra skill that becomes austerity. So when one has acquired that, you should engage it for glorifying the Supreme Lord. Yet Uttama Shloka Gunanu Varnanam. So Prabhupada explains that how they are fortunate Americans. Naturally, they have talent to manage such a facility, organize And this all this skill austerity is what they acquired in previous life because of that, and they should engage them. There is a huge conversation between Rameshwar Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada on printing books. This is a wonderful episode where Prabhupada, how envisioned, is not only translating, just giving books, you print whatever you want. Prabhupada was specific about what size it should be printed, how many volumes it should be printed, what is the first page of the like what is the image should come, what is the drawing should come. Everything is Prabhupada pre-planned, every book for that. It's not just Prabhupada translated and gave instruction them to print. So that is the episode where we will see how Prabhupada was so minute about it. So this is a conversation between Ramesh Prabhu and Prabhupada. So he had a difficulty in printing Krishna book in hardbounds in 2 volumes. Prabhupada wanted Krishna book in 2 volumes, hardbound. Then later Prabhupada authorized paperback edition with the 3 volumes. And there was 1 hour discussion happening how financially it is very difficult, because this was given to Thai Nippon to print Krishna hardbound in 2 volumes. And they have taken the order, but they said because of some technical, I don't know what is that, but it's called oil embargo. That's prices are gone off. They will not be able to print. But if they print it in 3 volumes, it will somehow reduce the cost. So you're telling how the prices would go, on many-fold if you had to print what Prabhupada initially invested in the 2 volumes of hard. So after economic difficulties and however how it is feasible not to sell, there are so many things. How Thai Dimpan is also pushing back, asking for more money. Prabhupada was very reluctantly agreed. You print the Krishna book hardbound in 3 volumes, but Prabhupada was not happy. Then Prabhu was also, Rameshwar Prabhu also again explained to Srila Prabhupada. The Dayanipan was telling, why are you printing in, it's little larger size, king size, they call it as. If you print it normal Srimad Bhagavatam size, then BBT itself, they can print it and they save a lot of money. Put it in the fist on his desk, he said, I had planned it in that size. Nothing will change it. Yeah, there is no more modification of it. He told Rameshwar Prabhu, you can leave the room. So Prabhupada was very particular about in what font it should be fixed, what size it should be done, and how many volumes it needs to be done. Prabhupada would not compromise on changing the volumes, the images like that. So when Rameshwar Prabhu was going down, I know Prabhupada told him to go out of the room, but he was so admiring how Prabhupada carefully prepare the translation and purport. We see Prabhupada also very thoughtful and is taking a lot of time. Some of the purports it would take long time to think, how do I pass on this message? This is just not doing for, no, I am doing also seva. Sometimes I do a lot of seva like that. Oh, I'm doing seva. But Prabhupada put his heart and soul and deeply think about it. And also he would envision how this should be printed in how many volumes, how much I should write. With the 2 volume, I'll be able to fit in. And, this was something amazing. Um, so one time Srila Prabhupada was in the BBT discussion again with Rameshwar Prabhu there. And as soon as they're in the middle of discussion, very deep discussion, Prasadam came and Prabhupada just left and he went to the next room and he was so absorbed in taking Sri Prasadam. Prabhupada was completely completely, he ceased to exit previously what he was discussing. Prabhupada was very absorbed in honoring Prasadam. This is also another wonderful lessons we can learn. While taking Prasadam, we might chit chat, we might do something, check the message, things like that. But Prabhupada, for him, it is Krishna Prasadam. And this also seva. When we perform this Prasadam seva, we should observe on the Prasadam and, if possible, chant few mantras of the Lord. One time I was in Sheshadripuram, one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple came. And as usual, we were all taking prasadam, jolly, talking, things like that. And he said, okay, every morsel of food you're taking, you have to tell one name of the Lord, different names of the Lord. So we all got trapped of tension. So one person said Keshava, another person Madhava. Oh, that person already told the name. What is the other name I should think? So we were all thinking, and like that, it goes 20 people in the line. So everybody should tell one names of the Lord. He made like that. I remember that past time. But I think just Srila Prabhupada disciple, they imbibe some of the qualities from Srila Prabhupada. So that every time they take morsel of the food, they take the name of the holy name of the Lord. Like that. So then I would end with another 2-3 minutes the episode of Hawaii. Still, it is continuing. It is the last part of it. After this Gudon visit, Prabhupada was in 1973, 2 years back. The Prabhupada sent some of his disciples to go on to Bengal and learn how to make this art of making dioramas, like with cement and with straw. They make life-size depiction of different pastimes. You would have seen in Mayapur, also in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Gaudiya Math. The complete depiction of life history of Srila Prabhupada, sorry, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. It's wonderful. Actually, right from the beginning, various pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu is completely covered in this diorama. You can see that. So Prabhupada wanted to learn. This devotees went from Los Angeles. The 2 3 years they spent the effort to learn it. Then they came back, and Prabhupada is now going and visiting after the visit of the BPT Gudon. He is going and visiting this diorama, how they have done it. So they want to do mass production of this dioramas, and Prabhupada want to showcase to everyone. And this is a very good preaching. And Prabhupada, whatever he picked up from his guru. And Prabhupada narrated how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would tell his disciple, go and collect for some project. Let's say there is a construction of the building, or let's say food for life. He would get all the money, immediately he would spend it on the diorama, creating diorama. Then he would ask his disciple, please go and collect for again food for life. Then they'll say, Prabhupada, we have already given you the money. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would reply, no, I have spent all of them in diorama. Now I don't have money. He always kept the kind of Gaudiya Math little bit in debt, because in sense, I don't have money for tomorrow, food for life, go and get it. I have to maintain the ashram, go and run. But he would, as soon as he will get money, he will put it in the diorama to create all those things. So that's what he was doing it. So Prabhupada knew that this is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted it. So he replicated same in Los Angeles. He said, go and learn it from Mayapur. They came back and they did view miniature of Lord Krishna, Arjuna, Charioteer, and the Kurukshetra, all those things. So this was Prabhupada comment. So the models were exotic. The figures are realistic in details and figures in the best wax museum, and they were dressed and bejeweled like the temple deities. The horses and chariots are staringly lifelike. So they made life size. So then Prabhupada commented, Prabhupada was very happy. The horses are more beautiful than Krishna, Prabhupada commented. So then they said, this is because they are all servant of Krishna, and they all started laughing. So Prabhupada was telling the horses are more beautiful than the Krishna because they are servants. Like that, Prabhupada talked about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur vision, how he made the doll makers, how he get all the money, whatever it came, he engaged in the disciples to collect the money for it. And the final story, another 5 minutes, I will complete this Hawaii trip with a beautiful story, what Prabhupada has told. So it is time for, it is just 2 days. Prabhupada visited Gudon and, these dioramas and instructed the devotees accordingly. And Prabhupada started talking about how you can stay more than 2 days in a place. Krishna has given me hundreds of nice places of residence. Srila Prabhupada laughed. But his order is that you can't stay. So there is a beautiful story in this connection, but Prabhupada hesitated. Okay, I don't want to deviate. Let's forget it. And also in Bhagavatam, it is called Aniketana. One may have many nice places to live. Still, he should think that I have no place to live. That is one of the spiritual items. So Prabhupada saying one of the anga of the bhakti is that you might have a place, you might, it's a very comfortable thing, but still you need to think that I don't have one to live. That's more detachment Prabhupada was talking about. And people did not live Prabhupada. Prabhupada, they said, talked about story, why don't you tell? And, and Prabhupada said it's kind of a funny story. There was a joker named Gopal Ban. So the joker was king in Raja Krishna. So Prabhupada said in Krishnanagar, Mayapur, that's a place the king ruled. That's the name after Krishnanagar. The king Raja is Krishna. And he had a joker called Gopalaban. So Gopalaban was constructing a beautiful house for himself. So the king ordered his one of his friends, if you go and pass tool in this new house, I'll give you a lot of money. So he want to joke with Gopal Pan, go and pass the stool there. So one time this person, this king's friends, was going that side, and he saw Gopal Pan's house, and he said, Gopal Pan, I have a nature call. I need to pass the stool. And Gopala thought, oh, this must be the plan of the king. He's very intelligent. So he said he applied a trick. Yes, yes, there is a lavatory, come on, you can use it. But there are one condition. You can't lock the door. And you must pass stool and I need to witness it. And he said, are you allowing him to pass a stool or I just need to go out? No, no, you can use it. But only one condition, that you should not pass urine. But you wanted to pass stool, no problem. You pass stool, but don't pass urine. Then I want to see if you pass even one drop of urine, then I will kill you. So then Prabhupada was laughing and saying that how you can pass stool without urine. So this is the, like that Prabhupada says, I have hundreds and thousands of houses to stay, but Krishna made me not to stay for 2 days. I need to travel. That's what the analogy Prabhupada was trying to bring it, wonderful joking way. He remembered how Narada Muni got a curse from Lord Brahma as well as the because Narada Muni, that he can't stay anywhere more than 3 minutes. Narada Muni's business is preaching. So every one of us, we have to become disciple of Narada Muni. This is Prabhupada words. And the Srila Prabhupada, greatest living disciple of Narada Muni, made plans to travel next to Mexico and then to Venezuela on his world tour, the preaching Krishna consciousness. So Hridayananda Maharaj was already joined. You want to take Prabhupada to South America, and Prabhupada was waiting because it's 3 years back, 1972 is what Prabhupada went. We also saw that episode, and he was traveling with Prabhupada so that he can take him to South America because they have made a lot of preaching there. So Prabhupada has also promised them he would come on the next trip. So he was constantly traveling. So Prabhupada was next place he is going to go is the Mexico. South America. So I would stop here because we are on time, and somebody can take forward because this is a big episode and there are a lot of things. So Tokyo, Hawaii, Los Angeles, what we covered. So Mexico and other places, and I think Prabhupada goes to Australia also in the month of April, May. So there are a lot of things. So I would stop here. Please forgive me if there are any offenses or unknowingly I committed.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavata Pranam. Thank you for us taking through the time mission of being with Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada for last 60 minutes. It was so wonderful, Prabhuji. Every narration that you described, we felt as if we are, just standing around Prabhupada and, listen to his conversation and the pastimes. It was very nice, Prabhuji. Especially, I think with respect to those speculations that you mentioned, a couple of speculations were happening, and how Prabhupada had handled them. As I said, that was so nice, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. And I have unmuted the lines of the devotees. You may please, in the interest of time, maybe we can.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, it was a very nice explanation about Prabhupada Leelas, Prabhu. I want to have this reference of Uttama Shloka Gunanu Varnanam, Prabhu.
Yeah, I need to search, Prabhu, which shloka is that. I don't remember on top of my head, but
okay.
I'll share with the portfolio. I'll search it and send you.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you motivated so much. I think next destination will be Los Angeles and Hawaii.
Free trip.
Yes.
Free trip with Prabhupada.
Yes, yes. Prabhu, the embargo means that trade these things, Prabhu. They can't trade with oil. And so they will not have money. When we were in Libya, we had air embargo. We could not fly. We had to cross by the land or the water borders. That was the thing. Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. Prabhu, it is Srimad Bhagavatam 1522, shloka number 1522, Srimad Bhagavatam. Go, Balaji Prabhu. It's 1522, first canto. Fifth chapter.
Yes,
20.
Prabhu. I have taken note of it. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think in the interest of the time, we will end the session here.
Pancha
Kalpatarubhyasya kripa
Kripa
sindhu
एव च पतितानां
Paditanam
पावनेभ्यो
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrtha ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, devotees. I think Prasadesha Prabhu, you want to say something, Prabhuji?
No, I just wanted to thank Gaurachandra Prabhu. So wonderful, Prabhu. You know, we can eternally go on like this, Prabhu. Gaurachandra Prabhu. Please.
I don't want to finish this episode.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want to miss you also. Please continue.
All of the other devotees can give, but somehow as soon as I read one paragraph, I'm not able to go further for various reasons. So I don't know. That's why I'm very slow. Forgive me.
Thank you, Prabhu. So wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, devotees. I will end the Zoom session now. Hare Krishna.